Hello, welcome to Movie Musters. Power Book 3 Raising Kanan Season 4 Episode 7 Review. The audacity is at an all-time high. Raq has ops everywhere and has no one to blame but herself. Even so, how she's being accused of things she didn't do left, right, and center is getting ridiculous. Like Kanan driving by and seeing her paying off some cops during Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 4 Episode 7 means his mom killed famous? Why everyone must jump from A to Z off vibes alone must be studied. This whole season has revolved around hating Raq, and it's the one thing she has been unable to escape. If anything, it's somehow only gotten worse this season. Kanan's been slowly descending into an uncontrollable hatred, and Unique has been bathing in disdain since returning from the dead. Unique and Raq's standoff in the kitchen was a long time coming, but it wasn't a fair fight if you want to call it that, because Unique obviously had the element of surprise and the upper hand the whole time. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising. As outlined in our privacy notice, Unique couldn't help himself when it came to taunting Raq and making it known exactly what he was after. The second he had the backing he needed and a plan in place, he came out of the shadows and immediately revealed himself to Raq. He went to Raq before he even linked back up with Pernessa. Unique is running off of almost exclusively revenge and Raq hatred right now, and no matter how much Raq tried to advocate for herself, he didn't want to hear it. And the way he's changed from his brain injuries makes me wonder if he'll ever be able to hear anything that goes against what his brain has led him to believe. Raq could present a complete list of all the reasons why everything Unique thinks makes no sense, but he wouldn't be able to hear her right now, and he may never be able to. It's put Raq in this very dire position because she's completely behind the 8 ball right now with everything, and there's not a whole lot she can do without majorly disrupting everything. But what other choice does she have? Unique came in hot, and with Kwan's backing, there's no telling how much further this will go, especially the longer she sits around twiddling her thumbs with no product. The only thing Raq does have going for her right now is that Unique is so mad and blinded by it. He found the one person in Russo with an axe to grind and a play to make, but the minute something goes wrong, who will he have? And when someone is consumed by so much hate, they're liable to make a mistake because they can't see beyond it. Of course, Raq has to worry about not only Unique but also Kanan and Stefano, ironically enough, for similar reasons. Say what you want about Raq, and there's plenty, but a lot of crazy stuff has gone down on her watch. And sure, she's found a way to survive at every turn, but acting as if under her leadership, things haven't been a hot mess at times would be disingenuous at best. Stefano's a bigot and a lot misogynistic, but Unique's reemergence has him seeing all the pieces of the board and realizing that he's not sure he wants Raq to be his king piece. Stefano and Raq are tied to each other for better or worse, but he has no allegiance to her beyond what she can do for him. It's obvious that he sees her as a liability in everything, especially because he knows she and Unique have a history. He also has this warped perception of Raq being some hothead who goes around making terrible decisions, misogyny at its highest degree, while he sits across the table from Marvin, who will kill anyone if they annoy him for a few seconds too many. Stefan may not be wrong to place some blame at Raq's feet, but he had a lot of nerve going to Marvin, of all people, acting as if he was going to come in and save the day and not make a bigger mess of things. Marvin has done some things behind Raq's back, but at the end of the day, family is family, and it was good to see him reiterate that to Stefano. Marvin has every right to want to be his own man, and he doesn't have to answer to Raq, but turning his back on her for someone who couldn't care less about his well-being one way or the other, he would be stupid as hell to ever turn his back on Raq. Someone who has turned their back on Raq. That would be Kanan. Though this isn't a new phenomenon, Kanan may see his mother clearer than anyone. When he lashed out at her for continuously putting them in bad situations, I wanted to cheer him on, but he's also a gigantic hypocrite. Kanan has been in mess after mess, and his mother has had to bail him out of things repeatedly. So, if you want to say Raq has messed up here and there, you wouldn't be wrong. But those living in glass houses shouldn't throw stones because Kanan's house would be smashed to hell. Kanan was on demon time in the aftermath of Famous's death, and with O-Cee taking off with his money, it wasn't going to take much to get him to snap. Still, why he jumped to Raq killing Famous is beyond me. If you want to believe someone set up the cops to do it, that's a plausible explanation. But seeing one out-of-context money exchange and jumping to Raq seemed more like a product of Kanan's pain more than any fact. Kanan hates his mother, and believing she's capable of it is one thing, but declaring it a fact is another. I'm scared about what this means as we head into the final 3 hours, because when Kanan starts talking about avenging Famous, it reminds me of the coldness and blank expression an adult Kanan would get when he talked about killing Shawn. He had no remorse, and I believe he'll kill whoever he believes killed Famous. Could we be headed to a mother and son confrontation with those kinds of deadly stakes? Considering this hour ended with Raq euthanizing her mother, it makes you wonder if things will come full circle in the most horrifying of ways for her. I hate that I even put that out there into the universe, but how can you say that could not happen at this point in the story? Many people guessed that Raq would ultimately fulfill Joyce's wishes because, unlike Marvin and Lulu, she was more or less willing to live with making that decision. Lulu's come a long way since Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 3, when he was at his absolute lowest. His decision to see his mother in a different light felt wholly about himself and continuing his journey of making peace with his past that he could swim in that pain for the rest of his life, or reframe his thinking to see a different perspective. He doesn't even have to accept that perspective, but he's at least allowing himself to see it. Raq's not like Marvin or Lulu, and she has every right to feel the way she feels about her mother, who we've seen on so many occasions make Raq feel like she's some problem instead of a daughter wanting to be loved by her mother. Contrary to what Marvin said, I don't think Raq wanted to see Joyce suffer. She almost seemed offended that she didn't ask herself, which stems from that need for control that permeates almost all of Raq's choices. I took their final exchange to be an understanding that they're more alike than either of them may have ever liked to admit. When Joyce told Raq to take care of her brothers and son, it may have been one of the only times she admitted that she failed in some way and meant it. It was like she was telling Raq to do what Raq has always done to protect her brothers and what Joyce couldn't do to safeguard her kids the way they needed. All the chills during that scene, and now we see how Raq interprets those words and if they at all reshape her moving forward. Everything else you need to know. Birilla is a very unserious person. He set a whole plan in motion to rob Lowell, failed spectacularly, and now 2 people are dead, while Lowell's still alive and wasn't robbed. Jukebox's metamorphosis into the jukebox we know continues to be mesmerizing. You can see how comfortable she's getting each hour in her own skin and how she's understanding herself more and more. Pops and Snap have been biding their time, but they will side with whoever they think has the winning team. Unique locking Pernessa up in that penthouse castle and telling her that what he says goes was a wild scene. As was his losing it when she dared to have an opinion of her own. How long can this possibly last before she defies him again? We are so close to the end, and about 10 different storylines are in motion. What did you guys think about Unique and Raq's reunion? Do you think Raq set Famous up? Drop all your comments down below so we can talk. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.